G'day golfers! Today we're going to tackle the problem of early release. That's when we get to the top of the backswing and then we cast the club, we release too early. So we're going to learn the effects that has on your golf swing and your ball striking, what causes it and what you can do about it. And stick around, we've got a super drill that's really going to help you get the feeling of that late release. I'm Glenn Haynes. Welcome to Aussie Golf Pros, where we help you make the most of your game. So if you're a player who hits the ground before the ball a lot, or maybe thins a lot of shots, especially on a downslope like we have here, then there's a very good chance that you're early releasing. You're casting that club and you're expending all of that energy too soon. That's obviously going to make it very inconsistent at impact. You're going to lose clubhead speed because your maximum speed has been expended too early. We want it to happen later, and we're just not going to get as much distance. We're going to put a lot of effort into it and the ball's not going to go very far. So what causes it? Well, it's very common and there are lots of different causes, but the main one is just too much tension, too much effort. Typically it's the trail, shoulder and arm firing too early in the downswing and trying to expend all of this energy too early without really realizing it and losing a lot of patience. We're always in such a hurry to hit the golf ball hard. And typically, golfers who try to hit the ball harder get worse at it. They release even earlier. That's why some players find it easier just to swing smoothly and slowly and the ball actually goes further. What we see here is either the wrist can be very tense and locked up, so we don't use a lot of wrist in the first place, or if we have hinged and gone too far, then it's very easy to then throw the club out too early then. So we have to go through a couple of processes to improve this, and it's not something we can force. It's not a case of just doing the pump drill where you come down here and you just hold that hinge in position here and I'm not going to early release, I'm going to hang on to it and then I'm going to hit it. Typically if you do manage to do that, you're going to leave the club face way open and you're going to hit big slices anyway. If you manage it, typically at a normal swing speed it's just not going to be possible anyway. There's just going to be too much muscle memory and bad habits, and we're going to release it too soon. So this is how we're going to go about improving it. First up, we want to mobilize the wrists. Let's throw in some waggles. We really want to get some mobility here. You can see how much I'm hinging and releasing. We're not necessarily going to hit the ball like that, but we need some mobility and some activity in the wrists. The grip needs to be nice and soft so that we can be mobile here, and throwing a couple of waggles in before you hit the ball is going to go a long way towards freeing things up. I see a lot of golfers get over the ball and then just don't move at all. They just let rigor mortis set in. They get tighter and tighter and the wrists are going to get very locked up. Now the other thing that we need to do is make sure that the lower half is leading the upper half. We can't just get to the top and then pull the arms down because that's when we're going to cast that club. We've got to make sure that the club is the last thing. It's a bit of a race to the ball. We want the club the last thing to hit the golf ball with. We've got to make sure that the lower half is leading, then the trunk, and then the arms, and then the club head is losing that race, but it's traveling the fastest, it's catching up. So here's a little motion that I like you to get the hang of, is when we get to the top of the backswing here, we've got to feel like you're actually increasing lag on the way down. Rather than this extending here and that early release, we've got to make sure that the opposite is happening. So that's a really good feeling to have. Don't hit the ball with it, just get to the top and then make sure that those wrists are mobile and soft and you're feeling like you're increasing that lag as you come into the transition in the downswing. Let's hit one. So if we play that in slow motion, then we can see that the lag increases on the way down. The lower half is leading, it's winning that race to the ball, and the club is the last thing to reach the ball. And that means that we're going to hit the ball first and then the turf. Conversely, if we early release, it's very easy to hit the ground first, drop kick the shot, or to hit it thin, hit the top of the golf ball, because the angle of approach isn't very good. Spine angle can also affect when we release. It's very easy to fall into the trap if we're hitting the ground early to try to get ahead of the golf ball and compress the ball that way. We might be able to hit the ball first, but what expense? If you get ahead of the golf ball here like this with a forward spine angle, you're almost guaranteed to early release because the golf ball is now behind you and you pretty much have to early release just to hit the ball. You're much better off being behind the ball a little bit and having your eyes just looking at the back of the ball and a spine angle tilted away from the target. It's safer for your back, it's more powerful, and you've got much better chance of releasing later through the shot. So eyes just start just behind the ball, a little bit of tilt back here, and then maintain that position for a late release. So I promised a drill that's really going to help you get the feeling of getting that late release. So what I want you to do is grab the club, turn it upside down, hold your normal grip just here at the hosel. Don't hold the club head, we're just going to hold the shaft here. And what that does immediately, it means that you're going to have a softer grip because it's very skinny, there's nothing really to hang on to, and that's really going to help soften things and mobilize those wrists. And then just above the ground, we don't want to hit the grass with this because you can damage the club. So above the ground, we're going to have a few swings, and I want you to listen to when the sound is. Now, typically, the sound when we hit a golf shot, if we're early releasing, is here. The sound is over here of that whoosh. We want to be more patient with it. We want that whoosh to be in this area, like this. And you can hear the difference. It's going to travel faster. It's going to be at the right time, which helps us to compress that golf ball. And I want you to do plenty of those. So same feeling of hinging more in the downswing and then being patient with that speed. If we're in a hurry, it's going to happen too early, and you can see the lower half doesn't really move very well. If we've got that release pattern later and after the ball, you're automatically going to shift your weight more aggressively onto that lead side. You're going to get more momentum in the shot, and it's really going to help you to compress the ball with more clubhead speed. You have to be patient with this, same as you have to be patient with your downswing. This isn't just going to happen overnight. There are several aspects that we need to get in place before you can really lag and late hit into the golf ball, compress the ball more, and swing faster with less effort. Now, it doesn't just pertain to the irons, it's with the driver as well. So watch this video next. We've got some more information on learning how to hit your driver further. And of course, we've got our PDF downloadable training guide on today's lesson with all of the notes and your drills from today. Thanks so much for watching. We look forward to your company next week. Are you the best golfer you can be?